In today's video, we're talking about the pound, GBPUSD, and also the DXY to make sense of what's happening out there in the forex market, because markets are still very sideways, but by the end of this video, everything is going to make sense. So looking at GBPUSD, right, we've got the market coming off of this high back here around 134.50. So no surprise to see this market pulling back. This was a very significant high back here for the pound back here in 2024, to where we saw the market actually lose over 1,000 pips, 1,300 pips from top to bottom. So a very significant area back here, because this area right around 134.50 held for months. So that is why we are seeing GBPUSD pull back. Now, the price action recently, okay, looks very choppy, and it is, right? But it looks like, how can we make any sense of this? However, if you take a look at something like the 4-hour time frame or even the 8-hour time frame that we were just on, you can see that off of some of these highs up here and lows, there is a channel that's developed, okay? So if you take a channel tool and you draw it across these highs up here, and we drag this level lower, you can see where we do have a couple of lows here. However, what I want to focus on are these lows right back here. So if we drag this over to line it up there with these highs, you can see where this lines up really nicely. We've got these two lows back here, and we've got these three highs. Okay, so you can see where we do kind of have a descending channel forming here, which, given the recent impulsive move that we saw back in April, this could very well be a bull flag. Okay, so you have this impulsive move back here. And by impulsive, I just mean a very aggressive move, right? So in this case, we had a very aggressive uptrend here, rally from the pound up here above 130. And now we're getting this gradual pullback into this consolidation. So this, so far, it doesn't mean that it will play out this way, but so far, this is a textbook bull flag pattern shaping up. Okay, you have that impulsive move up, very aggressive rally, very steep slope to this, and then you have that gradual pullback against the grain. So for the pound, what this is going to come down to is the market is going to have to break resistance. And I want to be very clear about this, that this video, me talking about this, is not saying that the pound is bullish right now, because first of all, we can see it's very sideways, right? And secondly, the market is actually pulling back here with lower highs and lower lows. So this does not mean that the pound is bullish right now. However, the potential is there if this market can break to the upside for us to get a continuation of this rally. All right, now let's take a look at where this could go if it does break to the upside. And then we're going to take a look at the DXY, because I'm going to show you some levels there that are going to give you more confidence if you're trading the pound or the euro or really any major currency pair. So if we go back here, let's go to a 5-day time frame, just so that we're not so far zoomed out here on the pound. Trading view is being kind of slow here, but looking at these highs back here. Okay, so this is the pocket of price action that I would be focused on if we do get that upside breakout. And again, you can see how significant this high is up here, and this is why we're seeing the pound pull back, right? So no surprise there. But these highs over here back in 2022, this is what I'll be focused on, right around 136.30, and also the area up around 137.50. Because again, you can see these very significant highs back here. These would become targets if we do see the pound break out. Okay, so the question there is, if we see the pound break out, we haven't quite seen that yet here from this market. It is still consolidating. Okay, so one thing that I do want to point out though, right, even though we could see the pound actually come all the way back here into this pocket down here, right, we could see one more pullback technically, because if you look at this rally in April, the 50% of this actually comes in a little bit lower, right? So this rally back here in April, the 50% retrace of this actually comes below this low down here in this area. So we could technically see the market actually pull all the way back again before bouncing. But one thing I do want to point out here is this area right back here, all of these lows, and specifically what I'm talking about is if we take a horizontal off of this high from back here, what you're going to notice is that you have this kind of pivot through here, right? You've got this high, you've got this low, and this one here. And then if we take another level to give us an area over here, you can see that off of these lows as well, okay, we also have this area through here. And you could actually draw it from this one down here. That's probably about where I'd put it. So what you have here is you have an area, right? You've got this high back here, you've got these lows, you've got these lows through here, you've got this entire area right here where GBPUSD had consolidated above this essentially. Now, this price action over here, this is what I talk about often. This is called a fake out or a fake breakdown, false breakdown, call it what you want. The bottom line here is that there was liquidity that built below these lows. Okay, so liquidity built up down here in this area, and the market came down here and swept that liquidity. And this right here, okay, was big buyers, institutions buying down here in this area, using that liquidity to fill their positions. So that could be telling for the pound. In other words, if we were to get a push down here into this area, this is now going to be new support following that failed breakdown. Okay, so one thing to consider here, if we get the move down here into 132 or just above, that could trigger the next move up here toward channel resistance. All right, so keep that in mind, that we do have this move over here, which does look relatively bullish for the pound. All right, now let's take a look at the DXY, because this is also going to matter if you're trading the pound or really any major currency pair. And by the way, guys, before I go on, if you are enjoying this content, be sure to subscribe to the channel and also click that bell icon. I'm putting out videos like this every week. We've got at least one trading lesson every week, if not two, and also the weekly forecast on Friday or Saturday. So a lot of content coming out. So be sure to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out. Now, looking at the DXY, this is going to matter, guys, because right now we have the DXY essentially landlocked between 101.80 resistance and this area down here around 100.2 support. So this is also why we're seeing that indecision from pairs like GBPUSD, because the DXY really hasn't made up its mind yet, right? We've got it coming into the top of this channel back here, right? So the top of this channel, and you can see resistance here. This is what I talked about recently. This over here was an imbalance. So when the DXY was down here in this area, I was talking about the potential for a 101.8 retest, because this was an imbalance. A lot of times, imbalances like this do tend to serve as magnets for a market, and that's certainly what we saw there. So you've got resistance up here around 101.8. You've got support down here where we saw the market bounce yesterday, and it did close back above this gap that formed over here that I also talked about in the weekly forecast around 100.9. So essentially, what you have here, right, if we sum all of this up, right, you've got this range currently for the DXY with this as your mid-range, right? You've got range highs up here, you've got range lows down here, this is your mid-range. So the market is very indecisive, all right? So the point here is that if you are going to trade the pound, and I want to be very clear about this because this is going to help add confidence to your trades, and you can do this for anything, and this is why I watch the DXY as well, because any GBPUSD long, okay, first of all, we know that it is going to take a sustained break above the top of this channel, right, to really break this market out and confirm this as a bull flag pattern. Okay, so it's going to take a sustained break above that. Now, if you want to add some confidence to a potential long there, if we do get that, then flip over here to the DXY, go to the daily time frame, and look down here at 100.8, because all of these highs back here recently, okay, this was resistance. You can see we got the breakout, retest as new support, retest as new support. So if the DXY breaks back below 100.2 on the high time frames, right, that right there is going to signal US dollar weakness. So if you see this happen in combination with GBPUSD breaking the top of that resistance, right, the top of that channel, then that's going to give you more confidence in any long position here, okay? So again, you can use this for the pound, you can use it for other currency pairs out there, other major currency pairs, but looking at the DXY, using levels like this on the high time frames are incredibly helpful to add some confidence to your trades, okay? Because if you see the pound starting to break out here and the DXY is still above 100.2, then guess what? You've got to be careful because the dollar could bounce from this area, all right? So that's really it in a nutshell, guys. The DXY has more to do here. We did see that breakdown back here that failed, right? So again, in the weekly forecast, I was talking about this candle right here that reclaimed the bottom of this channel. And that's how we knew that a move back here toward 101.8 was likely, all right? So as of right now, very indecisive market. However, looking at the pound, okay, we do have the potential, if we look here at the, let's say, 8-hour time frame, right? We do have that potential for this right here to turn into a bull flag, all right? Impulsive move up. We have that nice consolidation lower. And if this does break out with the DXY breaking below 100.2, then we could get that next leg up to the upside, potentially up there toward levels like 137.50. All right, guys, so I hope that this video has helped. Again, to keep it locked in here on the channel, be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, keep it locked in here for analysis videos like this, and also trading lessons that you can't get anywhere else.